What's up, everyone? This is the Minister of Beauty, and thank you for joining me for this video. This is Beauty Wednesdays, and look, don't judge me, but this is going to be a sort of get ready with me. So I know my hair is looking kind of crazy right now, but I did a twist out, which I really don't like doing, but I did one a couple of days ago. So I'm going to take this out and just chat with you all about a topic that I felt was pretty important because, one, as a licensed beauty professional, not just somebody who is making videos talking about different subjects, but as a licensed beauty professional, I always want people to do things professionally that if they want to enhance their beauty, it's going to not damage them in any way. It's not going to cause any detriment. And there's a lot of unlicensed practice of beauty going on, especially when it comes to cosmetic procedures that involve people getting like their butt done in hotel rooms and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know if people are still doing that as much as they used to, because you used to hear a lot of stories about that stuff. I've never had a BBL. I don't plan on ever having that done. I'm pretty happy with what God gave me, and even being a pretty small chick, I'm pretty happy with the size that I am. So I don't plan on ever getting that done, but I don't judge anyone that does that type of stuff. But I talked about something recently, and the reason why I chose to do so was because I know that if I'm feeling a certain way, or if I felt a certain way about something, I'm not exclusive. I'm not the only one in the world who has. So I felt that me sharing what I got done was important, so that if people like myself are choosing to get it done, they will go to the right person or persons to get it done. And what I talked about was getting my nose done. I got my nose done in 2010. So that was now 11 years ago. And I don't regret doing it. I didn't do it because I was pressured to do it. I didn't do it for any of those reasons. I did it because it was something that I wanted to do, because I wanted to feel proportionate in my own skin. And like I said in that video, which I'll try to put a link to in the description box if you've not seen it, I talked about rhinoplasties for, African Americans. And I just wanted to talk about it because there is a stigma when it comes to African Americans. And you hear more about women getting, Black women getting it done than Black men, but there actually are Black men who have gotten their noses done as well. Not as many, but also there's not as many men who get cosmetic procedures done as women anyway. It is on the rise, though. That's definitely something that's true. So it's really sad when you hear people make comments, especially it's usually other Black people who will make comments if a Black person chose to get a rhinoplasty done, that you don't love yourself. And I think that is one of the most ridiculous things in the world. And the reason being is this: if people are overweight and they are genetically disposed to being overweight, they're genetically disposed to being fat, and these people choose to go and get a gastric bypass or a lap band procedure done because genetically it's just harder for them to lose weight and to stay small, would you say that that person doesn't love themselves because that's how they're genetically disposed and they want to do something to change that so that they feel more comfortable in their own skin? There may be some people who will say that, but most people won't do that. But when it comes to somebody who is Black and they choose to get their nose done, then someone makes a comment and says that, oh, you don't love yourself. You may not admit it, or you may not know it. And that's the part that's kind of funny to me. Actually, someone made a comment like that on that video that I did, and it wasn't it didn't hurt my feelings, and it wasn't honestly that surprising, but yet, and still, it was like, how is this person that doesn't even know me going to tell me how I feel about myself? I thank God that I actually do love myself. I'm learning to love myself more and more every single day. I definitely do not hate myself. I am grateful for who I am, but anybody can sit and pick apart certain things about themselves. It doesn't mean that they don't love themselves. It's just there's certain things about yourself that you just would rather change. Like right now, I'm doing this twist out. I'm taking these twists out of my hair. If I choose to get a blowout and get my hair straightened, does that mean that I don't love myself because I have naturally curly hair and I don't want to wear my hair straight? Like, I mean, there's so many ways you could take that, and so many places you could go with that. But when it comes to getting your nose down, which, by the way, if I didn't tell anybody that I did it, nobody would even know, because I purposely did it where if someone were to look at me, it wouldn't look that different. I didn't chop 3/4 of my the size of my nose off, and went from having a large nose to having a little button nose. I didn't do a Michael Jackson. I didn't do even a Janet Jackson. Like, I definitely did get it downsized, but I made sure that it was not going to look that much different. And even with that, you never not honestly you never it takes time for you to really get adjusted to it, because it takes about at least a good year for the healing to be complete. So getting adjusted to that change, it is something that can be a little bit of a shocker, even if it is a small change. So I could never have went from a much larger nose to a very, very small button nose. That wasn't what my intentions were. And being someone who is smaller framed, having a smaller, head and smaller body, and then having that be the focal feature of my face because it is large and it stands out, for me was something that I wanted to do. I didn't go home crying about being teased in school or anything like that, because I made a comment about that in that other video. But it really wasn't something that happened very often. It was just something that I brought up to say that it was, as a little kid, you get people that will call you names and, oh, you have a big head or whatever, like things like that. Kids do stuff like that, but that wasn't something that caused me any detriment. And it really wasn't even anything that happened on a regular basis. So that was never something that I wasn't even really into my looks that much when I was a child. I really wasn't. Even though I went to school with girls that would wear makeup and all those different things like that, for me, it wasn't really that big of a deal. So I was never really focused on that stuff. I did this much later in life because it was something that I chose to do, because also, as a licensed beauty professional, I was focused more on my looks at that point in my life. And just looking at the grand scheme of everything, I decided that that's something that I wanted to do. And I did the research on it. I had consultations, and I made the decision, and I went forward with it. I didn't make a snap decision and just decide overnight, you know what, I want to do this. It was something that I had been thinking about for, a few years prior to getting it done. And it wasn't even something that I had discussed with anyone. And the reason I really didn't discuss it with anyone was because I didn't want to hear anybody else's opinion about what I was choosing to do for myself to make myself feel better in the skin that I was in, feeling more proportionate, not feeling like I had this huge, thing in the middle of my face, and that was like the first thing that people saw when they saw me, or the first thing I saw when I looked in pictures. Like, that wasn't what I really wanted to see as the focal feature of my face. I wanted my eyes and my brows and my lashes to be the focal point of my face, and maybe even my lips. I never got my lips done. My lips are not huge. My lips aren't tiny either. My lips are, pretty good. So that's something that I would never do. I don't fault anyone who chooses to get their lips enhanced or not there. But of course, there are some procedures that really aren't safe, and I don't advise, people to do that. Like, there was a procedure that the singer Tiny from the group Escape, she went to, I believe, a country in Africa to get her eye color permanently changed. That's not something that they do in the United States because it is considered pretty risky, and it's not FDA approved. So going to another country to get something like that done, it is pretty risky. But that's something that she chose to do, and I guess she still has her eyesight, but it is a risk that it can cause blindness. And I believe her daughter got it done too, and her daughter had to get it reversed because she started having problems with her eyesight, I believe. So yeah, there are some things that I would not advise, but when it comes to getting things done for your body, I don't think, in the grand scheme of things, as long as someone has done the research, they have the financials or the credit to be able to finance to get the things done and to get it done safely with a board certified plastic surgeon, and they are able to take care of themselves before, during, and after getting the procedures done, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. And it's not much different than somebody who is genetically disposed to being a larger, overweight person, and they choose to get a cosmetic procedure done to help them to lose weight because they've tried all of the diets, all of the exercising, and it's not doing much, and they really need help to control how much food intake they are getting so that it can help to reduce their weight and they can really start dropping off the pounds. And then, okay, you have the people who have been extremely overweight and then they do lose the weight, and then they have skin that's hanging. Do those people not love themselves because they get the skin cut off? I mean, it's like, how far does the self-hate go for some people? By God, if you are an African-American person that has a larger nose and you choose to keep that because that's the look that you love, that's the look that you like, go for it. Do it. I did not share my journey and my story to tell people that, look, if you're a Black woman and you have a larger nose, you need to go and get your nose done. I never said that. What I said was I was sharing my story about why I got it done, and if you choose to get it done, what you should do. So I made mention of certain things, but I definitely am grateful for who I am. I love myself. God has definitely been good to me in a lot of, in a lot of ways. And, but being a person who made a decision to do certain things to accentuate or to take away or, whatever it is for my own body has nothing to do with me not loving myself. I am grateful. I love myself. And I am grateful that that was something that I was able to get done. And flip the light on. I don't have a tiny button nose, but I got the service done and I do not regret it. Now, when I came up from under the anesthesia and I had those bandages on my face, I can't say that I felt great at that moment. Nobody does. But being 11 years later, I don't regret it. I am grateful that I did get it done. I have absolutely zero regrets about it. And again, if I never told anyone that I got it done, nobody would have known. And to be honest with you, at the time, the place that I was working, I was renting a space in a spa and salon. During that time when I had the procedure done, but I also had a breast lift an augmentation done at the same time. I told people about that, but I didn't tell people that I was getting my nose done. So when I came back to work, that's all people was, that I worked with, that's all they were concerned about. And that's all they noticed. They did not even notice that I had anything done on my face. So honestly, that's just how little of a change for some people it really was. I did not do anything drastic to my face, but hey, if I had a drastic change done to my face, then that would have been my choice. But it doesn't mean that I didn't love myself, or I'm ashamed of who I am, or I hate my ethnicity, or anything like that. And so that is the reason why I really even talked about that, is because I want anyone, no matter what your race is, but definitely African American women who choose to get the service done, to know that it is okay as long as you definitely do your research and you do it the right way. Now, Candy Burris's daughter, she had a rhinoplasty done, and to be honest with you, I feel a little bad for her, because it really did, I feel, change the look of her face. One, she is much younger when she got that done than I was. And two, I think that they went too small with her, with her face. But she could still be growing. She could grow into it. I don't know. Sometimes it does take a while for it to really gel with your face and your facial features, depending on what all they had to do. I don't know what all they had to do. For me, it was shaving the bump down that I had, and then they brought my my nostrils in a little bit because they were much wider. So it wasn't a huge change, but it was a nice change for me. So I didn't have this bump right here anymore, and it wasn't so wide where it was like, bam. That's the first thing you see when you see me, was my nose. So for me, that was definitely what I was going for, and I love myself before that, and I love myself after that. So if you choose to get the service done and you are an African American woman, don't allow anyone to try to shame you, especially if they're in your family, and they try to make you feel like, oh, you're ashamed of where you come from and your heritage and whatever. That really doesn't have anything to do with it. And, for those that say, well, if you were never in this country, then you wouldn't do that. You're just trying to gel to European standards and societal norms and blah, blah, blah. Oh, give me a freaking break. Well, it is what it is. I was born in the United States. I wasn't born in any country in Africa. So I can't say, nobody can say what their life would be like if they were in another country. You can assume, but I know for me, being a smaller person and having inherited my dad's nose, which is huge, and not my mom's nose, both of my parents are black, it would have been better for me, being a smaller person, in my opinion, if I had inherited my mother's nose versus my dad's nose. Even my teeth. My top row has always been straight. My bottom row was crooked. My dad's teeth were crooked genetically. My mom's teeth are straight genetically. Praise God, I got that and not the opposite, where it was my top row that was straight and my bottom row, which was crooked, which I inherited from my dad. But you know what? Just because I inherited crooked teeth doesn't mean I have to keep them, right? Does that mean I'm ashamed of who I am because I choose to wear braces? I wore braces for years. I stopped wearing the retainers, so my teeth shifted. So now I'm doing the bite system. And if you're interested in that, I'll put a link to that in the description box, because it actually does work. They actually just sent me some new retainers that I'm going to be using throughout these next weeks. And so I just put in my new retainer set last night. And I'm also doing the snow whitening. If I'm genetically having teeth that are off-white, Does that mean I don't love myself because I choose to whiten my teeth? Like, it's like, how far does the self-love and the self-hate go? I don't know, but I just really wanted to just have a conversation with that while I got ready this morning. So guys, I'm about to go and take a shower. I'm not going to continue the conversation there. So I'm going to end it here, but thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Leave your comments, any questions, whatever, in the comment section respectfully, and we will get into it there. So I really appreciate you all. And guys, I am the Minister of Beauty, here to share the Bible. That's business, inspiration, beauty, life, and enjoyment. So until the next time, I hope you all have an amazingly blessed and beautiful day.